Some fun things happened in Arizona this week, folks, when we had former and failed Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, along with failed Republican Secretary of State candidate Mark Finchem, essentially get laughed out of court by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals for their challenge to the 2022 election results in the state of Arizona. Now, this means that Kari Lake has now officially lost every single lawsuit that she has filed, even the ones that got remanded back down to the lower courts. She continues to lose. And she lost again this week. And I love talking about when Kari Lake is a big, giant loser. And that's given us lots of content over the last year. But what's really funny is that this 3-judge panel with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals not only dismissed their lawsuit, but it informed them that not only do you not have evidence of a crime, but they said even if you had evidence to prove what you're saying still isn't a crime. That's what's so, like, it never should have gotten to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And that's kind of what the appellate court is saying. Like, why do we even have this? How did the lower courts F this up so badly that it made it to us? You don't have a case. You don't have an argument. You don't have an injury. What the hell are we doing here? Let me read you this from the ruling itself. They conceded that their arguments were limited to potential future hacking and not based on any past harm. Even assuming plaintiffs could continue to claim standing as prospective voters in future elections, they had not alleged a particularized injury and therefore failed to establish the kind of injury Article 3 requires. None of plaintiffs' allegations supported a plausible inference that their individual votes in future elections will be adversely affected by the use of electronic tabulation, particularly given the robust safeguards in Arizona law, the use of paper ballots, and the post-tabulation retention of those ballots. None of contestant Finchem's allegations, even if true, would have changed the vote count enough to overcome the 120,000 votes he needed to affect the result of this election. The court finds that this lawsuit was groundless and not brought in good faith. So how did it even make it up to the Court of Appeals? See, this is what's actually, it's fun that Kari Lake and Finchem, of course, keep losing, but what pisses me off is that the courts keep giving Kari Lake a second chance, right? Even when she got to the Arizona State Supreme Court, they told her, they said, you don't have a case, you don't have an argument, you don't have an injury, you have no evidence, but we're going to send it back down to the lower court so you can just try again. They told her she's making it all up. You're lying. They sanctioned her. Okay? They sanctioned her because they said she's making stuff up, making false claims. And then they said, we'll give you another shot. And that's why we're in the position we're in right now. The Arizona Supreme Court should have shut this shit down months ago. But instead, they sent it back to the lower court. The lower court made a fool of her again. The appellate court made a fool of her again. And now the Ninth Circuit has made a fool of her again. She needs to be sanctioned harder than anyone has ever been sanctioned by a court before. And money ain't going to do it. It's time to hit these people with some kind of criminal charge at this point. They are obstructing other cases by tying up the court's time. Do something meaningful and get this lunatic out of the court system. Stop her lawsuits from clogging up and backlogging other cases because she's wasting everybody's time because she is desperate for the attention that comes along with it. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.